Hey, how are you? We're back. And this time with the next DLC for Dragon Ball's Kakarot being the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi, and oh my god, I was not ready for how amazing this story was. The 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai has always been one of my absolute favorite arcs in all of Dragon Ball. The time skip Goku, the mature cast, that alone blew my mind as a kid, but here just in the DLC preview screen alone, I was giddy. We booted it up and went straight in, and then it hit me. We weren't just going through the motions of recapping of what was going on. No, we were thrown straight into the most iconic match of all of Dragon Ball history. Goku and Piccolo Daimao. Or King Piccolo. Yeah, sure, the tutorial screens popped up again. Classic Kakarot move at this point, but this time, I didn't care. The energy was different. This DLC feels grounded, raw, and deeply tied to what made Dragon Ball so iconic to begin with: hand-to-hand martial arts and high-stakes grit. This new grounded combat was introduced in this DLC, and I don't know why it wasn't introduced in the base game or given when the game first launched, but I'm glad it's here. Every single thing you do really matters. It's really crazy how much difference it makes to get out of the sky and right into the battlefield. Like, you have to guard, and it makes sense to dodge when you need to. No more spamming around the battlefield or flying upwards to avoid something. You have to be very, very on timing with your vanishes. Now let's talk about the fight itself, right? Incredible. Piccolo rushes you with these powerful hits, and every time I countered or broke through his defense, it felt earned. The battle had weight. It felt like I was Goku clawing tooth and nail against this seemingly unstoppable force. When you hit that final blow, chef's kiss. The animation goes full cinematic, Goku using every last drop of energy to put King Piccolo down for good.
Challenge the ruler of this dark new world. You're mine!
That's what you think? Don't forget, I still have one arm!
What?
I'll put everything I've got into this punch! Punch through! Ha!
I won! I beat him!
Colleen Clickenbird may not always be my go-to voice for Kid Goku, but here she nails it. The desperation and the fire in Goku's voice, the absolute need to protect his friends and the world around him was all there. Time skip time, we catch up with Goku and the gang years later. It's like stepping into a warm memory. There's this quiet magic to see everyone older, wiser, but still themselves. The reunion is short but meaningful. Smiles are exchanged, geese donned, and just like that, we're stepping into the unknown again. The preliminary rounds go by, and then he arrives. Piccolo. Reborn, reimagined, but still carrying the weight and rage of his father's legacy. His presence is immediate, tense, and heavy. Tien's the only one who realizes who he really is, and you can feel it in the shift. The atmosphere changes, the lightness of reunion becomes a slow, looming shadow. And then in the middle of that weight, we get one of the most Dragon Ball moments ever. Chi-Chi appears. Goku looks at her like she's a stranger. She looks at him like he's already broken a promise. And like that, it's love at first fight. Classic.
You fool!
Humor doesn't last long. Chaozu, sweet, small, loyal. Taken out in a single off-screen hit by returning monster Tao Pai Pai. Now rebuilt, now colder, and more mechanical than ever. Tao's cybernetic resurrection makes you wonder if Dr. Gero's ghost is already whispering through the circuitry. That red ribbon shadow looms larger than we thought, and the moment makes you question just how deep those roots go. At this point, we get a moment to breathe. Free roam unlocks, and I take a side quest as Goku. Simple fetch quest, nothing grand, but the payoff? A farmer just reminiscing. He remembers the last tournament, he remembers the names, the energy, the fights. It's such a small, human moment in a story filled with gods and monsters, but it stuck with me, and it made me wonder. If these warriors were this well known, how did Hercule ever convince the world he was the hero? Especially when something like the Kamehameha wave existed and was revered as a sacred martial arts technique. Maybe the world forgot, or maybe it just chose to. Then comes Tien's story, a flashback, a deep cut of a reminder of who he was. Raised under the Crane School's iron fist, he's sent to train under Tao Pai Pai. And here, I was frustrated. Tao felt spongy, like nothing I did mattered, but then I realized this wasn't about winning. This was about restraint. Tien is being shaped into a killer, but he doesn't want to be. You see in how he pulls his punches, how he hesitates, not out of weakness, but out of choice. And it clearly costs him everything. When Chaozu's nearly killed in the process, Tien breaks the mold. He jumps in, he chooses the compassion over cruelty for a moment. That was the moment the fracture occurred. Back in that present, that crack has become a canyon. Tien is no longer the cold prodigy of the Crane School. He's a martial artist, a protector, and his match with Tao isn't just a fight, it's a declaration. Tao thinks kindness is weakness, that hesitation makes you soft, but Tien proves something that Dragon Ball has always whispered under its punches. Compassion is power. And when the fight starts, you feel it. The shift, the strength. This is Tien that has grown spiritually, emotionally, and mechanically. His punches land harder, his energy hits sharper. You feel the gap between the boy who trained to kill and the man who trained to honor the fight. Tien wins, but not without a cost. He walks away from the match with more than just a victory. He walks away with a scar carved right across his chest, a raw, permanent reminder, not of weakness, but of growth, of pain, of a past self he's fought so hard to leave behind. That scar is the story, a symbol of who he was, and a vow to never become him again.
He'll be asleep for a while. Take him back home. And please, for your sakes, never show yourselves around me again. Goodbye, Master.
You feel it. The moment isn't just a beat in a tournament bracket, it's quiet, powerful echo of everything that's come before. Tien, once cold, calculated, built to be a weapon, now stands as one of Earth's mightiest warriors. A man who could have been forgotten in the shadows of stronger names now belongs in the same breath as Goku and Krillin. Not because he was the strongest, but because he changed. And that's what Dragon Ball is about at its core, right? But growing, changing, becoming something better. And this moment, this is Tien's legacy. We pick right back up with Goku versus Chi-Chi. And up until this point, I've been all in. The DLC's been killing it, but this moment it stumbles a bit. The Goku and Chi-Chi match is fully animated, gorgeously, I might add, but you don't get to play it. No punches, no throws, no Kamehameha ways to land. Just a cutscene. Which is a shame because Dragon Ball's first real love story deserved to be felt in gameplay, not just watched. Especially with the storytelling that they've been taking place so far between the gameplay. Still, it's classic Dragon Ball. The fight ends with Goku agreeing to marriage, romantic in the dumbest, most perfect way possible. Then comes Krillin versus Piccolo, or 3 screenshots that kind of suggest the fight happened. It's honestly jarring, and it doesn't stop there. Yamcha and Kami's matches get the same treatment. Far cry from the emotional, well-crafted beats we've seen up until now. But then, Goku versus Tien. Now this one delivers. For Goku, it's a test, a moment to pit himself against a rival who once stood toe-to-toe with him and maybe still can. For Tien, it's something even deeper. It's closure. A chance to prove that all his work, all his growth since King Piccolo has paid off. This match feels different. The grounded movement, the lack of flying, it changes everything. Goku takes off his weighted gear, mid-match revealing that he's been carrying over 100 kilos the whole time. It's insane, but it's Goku. Now that moment hit me in a very real way. As someone who trains, who lives in a strict split week to week, I get that mindset. Always chasing the next level, always pushing the ceiling higher. That's not just anime power fantasy, that's discipline. And in the moment, Goku reminds you, strength isn't given, it's earned. Goku wins his match with Tien, but it's different now. Gone are the days where rivals met enemies. This isn't a grudge match. This is a celebration, 2 warriors honoring the paths they've taken. For Tien, it's peace, the journey to become a true martial artist, complete. Then we are tossed into another gorgeously animated cutscene. Kami, trapped in this man's body, faces off against Piccolo, and everything that's come before leads to this. The Namekian language being spoken, that detail hit hard. It's alien, it's ancient, and it makes the moment feel larger than life. The Mofuba fails, Piccolo in a cold reversal swallows the jar whole. A demon with foresight, a conqueror with no intention of repeating history. Piccolo's out for revenge, and this time no one will live to tell that story. The final round is here, and it's poetry. Goku, an alien from a brutal warlike race, now stands to protect the planet he was never born on. Piccolo, a Namekian who's cast away his peaceful nature, stands to destroy the only place that ever gave him purpose. And this is my favorite fight of all Dragon Ball. Z, Super, GT, Daima. Nothing comes to toe with this match, and they did not hold back. This wasn't just a final battle, it was a masterpiece. The beam struggle, the original beam struggle. Goku versus Piccolo, you feel that energy. The stakes, it's not just light shows, it's raw power, clashing wills, and a reminder that even mortals can shake the heavens. When Piccolo grows giant, yes, they remembered. I cheered. It's a mechanic often forgotten, but here it's terrifying. Massive, brutal. You can Kamehameha him into the dirt or get stomped out into 2 hits. And when Goku flies into Piccolo's mouth to rescue Kami, that's not just reckless. That's hope in emotion. Piccolo shrinks, unleashes an apocalyptic explosion. Anything to end this fight, but Goku still stands, bloodied, battered, but burning with resolve. Then we get it. That final phase, the moment.
What are you doing? Watch this!
The iconic move, once so perfect, it's echoed in every game that's ever come. A last minute barrage, a moment where it looks like Goku's won, until Piccolo cheap shots him. And suddenly, we're back at the beginning of the story. Just like with King Piccolo, Goku's down a limb. Hurt beyond reason, but also, just like then, he doesn't quit. With nothing left, Goku uses his entire body, his entire will to headbutt Piccolo straight out of the ring. No ki blast, no transformations, just heart. It's poetic, brutal. And what does Goku do next? He spares him. Kami wants vengeance, but Goku hands his enemy a senzu bean. Not because he's naive, but because he believes there's something more inside Piccolo. And that fate, that mercy, that's where we see the seeds change in Piccolo. He doesn't attack. He could. He should. But he doesn't. And then in one final warm, nostalgic sweep, we're asked if Goku will take Kami's place as Earth's protector, and he refuses. Funny, isn't it? He kinda sorta becomes that anyway. Not with the title, but with the life. A spirit, a heart that never stops fighting for others. And for himself. And so Goku leaves with his bride, now not off to peace, though he thinks so, but to the next chapter, because the journey is never really over. The postgame is simple, warm, even sweet. We follow Goku and Chi-Chi as they begin their next chapter searching for a plot of land to build their future. It's not epic, it's not explosive, but it feels right. There are a few fun side quests sprinkled in, but unlike Bardock's DLC, these aren't about deep character revelations. And that's okay. We know Goku. These quests are here to remind us why we love him, and Dragon Ball in the first place. It's nostalgia in the purest form. I have to say, it was a great DLC. The new combat system, feet on the ground, fist flying, was refreshing, strategic, weighted. It broke a mod I had installed, but honestly worth it. You had to be smart in combat. You had to place yourself where you think you would be safe. Even fighting people in the wild, the random little goons that they drop in the map, you really need to be smart. I loved this idea, and it's unfortunate that it never made it into the main game or was ever given an option to just toggle that on. I think my favorite part about this DLC was there's no horde mode. The real victory here isn't the gameplay tweaks though, it's in character. Tien's arc ends in a way that feels earned. Piccolo's arc begins in a way that feels promising. The fights, the callbacks, the attention to detail, this is a love letter to a specific sacred era of Dragon Ball. My only wish? That it started just a little earlier with the Budokai before it. There's so much there, so much growth and so much heart, and it would have been amazing to get even one more fight with Kid Goku. The model, it looks incredible, and until this DLC, we hadn't seen him playable in years. What we got was special. So now with this DLC done, we head into the base game. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, leave a comment, you know the deal. And always take care and keep training.